If you looked out your home window and saw a 100-foot tsunami barreling towards you, what would you do? The storm of the century just hit, and now it's a battle to survive against nature, other survivors, and a crazy plot twist. In this How to Beat video, I'm gonna break down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the freak flood in The Great Flood. We start out following Anna and her 6-year-old son, Jane, making breakfast, oblivious that the storm of the century is brewing outside. That is, until she steps in a puddle and looks over at the window. Yep, that's bad. That is very bad. Especially since when she looked out the window 5 minutes ago, she could still see grass and cars. Judging by the trees and streetlights, the water rose about 10 feet in 5 minutes. That puts Anna and Jane firmly in the territory. Flash floods arrive without warning because, at first, rivers, lakes, sewers, basements, vegetation, and soil all soak up the water like a sponge. But once those systems become fully saturated, any additional rainfall has nowhere to go. It instantly turns into high-speed runoff, moving downstream quick. That's why when she first looked out the window, she thought nothing of it, because it was nothing. The storm drains were doing their job. When the storm's intensity kept up and the drains filled beyond capacity, the streets stopped absorbing water. They turned into fast-moving rivers with intersecting currents. The timeline is accurate to how suddenly flash floods catch people off guard. Historically, in extreme cases, flash floods in cities can reach 15 to 25 feet, with flow speeds of 30 to 40 miles per hour in confined urban channels, where there's low-friction concrete and narrow paths that increase the velocity. People think a flood is just rising water, but the depth isn't even the main concern, at least initially. It's the speed and what the flow is carrying that makes it dangerous. In a flash flood, danger comes from moving water. The force pushing on people, vehicles, and structures increases with the square of the water's speed, which means even small increases in velocity dramatically increase the impact force. Double the speed, and the force quadruples. That's why agencies like the National Weather Service and U.S. Geological Survey assess flood danger using both depth and velocity together. Fast, shallow water can be far more dangerous than deeper, slower flooding. Just 1 to 2 feet of water moving at walking speed can knock an adult off their feet. Around 2 feet moving at higher speed is enough to sweep away most vehicles. Nerds, if you're doing a New Year, New You resolution to quit a nasty habit that you've been developing, do it right. Don't just try to quit cold turkey, because while day 1 might feel easy, when the cravings hit and that familiar pattern starts nagging at you on day 3, 4, 5, and it feels like the world has lost its color, you're just making it harder on yourself. That test of willpower's unnecessary. You can break the hand-to-mouth pattern by upgrading the habit loop. When your hand starts trembling, fiending for that vape or puff of smoke, reach for Fume instead. Drawing on Fume's crispy mint-flavored air device feels like a satisfying release. That pent-up tension of needing to reach for something, especially in social situations, just evaporates. And you can feel good knowing you're reaching for something with no nicotine, no vapor, no batteries, just clean, natural flavors, like peach blush or the limited time gingerbread. Even if your habit is less nicotine and more sugar, Fume is a great way to pacify that urge for a little flavor, a little sweetness, a little zizz. It's honestly a solid reset after jump-starting the sweet tooth by consuming vast quantities of desserts from Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, months of holidays. To kick off the new year, Fume is doubling down on helping people break old habits. For January only, every core that you order is doubled. Order 1 pack, you get 2. Order 3, you get 6.
Damn good deal.
But the double core offer disappears the moment the January ends. So go to tryfume.com and use the code NERDEXPLAINS to claim your double cores and free Fume topper before this new year offer ends. Flash floods are especially deadly because the depth and speed rise at the same time. often within minutes, and the water's usually carrying debris that multiplies the force. Now, for screwed and hosed here, if they can grab a box of crackers, a bottle of Dasani, and run up to the top of the building, they'll be fine. Realistically, they only need to climb a handful of flights to exceed the depth that the flood is most likely to top out at. Obviously, the roof is the best location for rescue, but I'm not convinced I'd want to be on a small skyscraper roof with thousands of residents all pushing their way up there. I could easily see the roof filling up, with panicking morons in the stairwell continuing to force their way upward, causing a spillover. And by spillover, I mean people getting pushed into a free dive off a 60-story roof to their deaths. Better to hang out in a room on the floor just below the top. What does Anna do? She threatens to take her yapping son's goggles away if he doesn't shut up about wanting to swim in the pool. Then she leaves her 6-year-old son alone in the rapidly flooding apartment to go fill a suitcase with extra shirts. At least she remembered to snag his medical supplies. The problem is that every minute that she wastes is another minute for 100 more people to jam the stairwells ahead of her. Survival here is not a race against the flood, it's a race against other people, especially the stupid, the old, the sick, the weak, and the obese. Escape routes only work if hundreds or thousands of people are able-bodied, orderly, and not trying to drag a pile of unnecessary with them. The odds of that are roughly on par with hitting the winning Powerball numbers. Let a moron family who packed like they're heading on a 2-week vacation get in front of you, like these clowns, and they will bottleneck the entire stairwell and get everyone killed. One elderly geriatric hobbling up the steps at 1 mile per hour, everyone's dead. A double-wide glutton who's been training for a pie-eating contest for the past 20 years, everyone's dead. This is why public structure fires are so deadly. Unfortunately, Anna and her son are so late in the game that the stairwell's already deadlocked. One of the guys next to her says he thinks someone above them got stuck or collapsed. I'm sorry, but if you're becoming an obstacle, I am sending you down the stairwell hole and back to the end of the line. Anna does make the correct decision to get away from the other people. Being stuck, crammed together like sardines in an enclosed space is about the worst move that you could make. Luckily, she finds another exterior stairwell that's empty, though she really needed to put Jane down and let him walk for himself. He's 6. He's not a baby. You've got a lot of floors to cover on foot, and strapping 30 pounds of deadweight onto your back is not conducive to that. If you're so worried about Jane trying to jump in and swim, I don't know. Maybe if your son is that stupid, you should have bought one of those child-to-dog harnesses a while ago. Nope. Who the hell put all this crap in the stairwell? Come on. Should be easy enough to pull a couple items down, like the bike on the left. Throw them overboard, suck it in, and squeeze up the left side. Instead, oh my god, she's trying to crawl up the 4-inch wide slick railing that drops straight into a corpse-filled current 10 stories down. Wow, I slipped on the slippery thing. Apparently, some trash was enough to completely stall her climb to the top. Anna takes Jane sideways to, I don't know. She had a perfectly good stairwell that nobody else seemed to know about and decided to ignore it in favor of wandering around cluelessly among hordes of selfish, panicked survivors. A man shouts for her to meet them down the hallway, but in all the chaos of the flood, little Jane runs off to go play with a toy dinosaur or something. She races into the room after him. That's when she hears what sounds like a tool chest falling down the stairs, looks up, and sees this. There's no time to run. Now totally submerged under God knows how deep of water, Anna wastes precious air swimming after her crossbody bag, and it's gone. Look, I get it. Maybe it has your child's insulin shots or whatever, but I hate to break it to you. Little Jane is dead as hell, and you're about 1 minute from drowning. Swimming after your bag is an egregious misprioritization. You should be doing whatever you need to do to find air, which pretty much means taking your chances in the current. Of course, Anna swims around for a minute or so, finds Jane floating next to a blown out window, then goes limp trying to open a random locked door. Right when it looks like the movie isn't gonna pull any punches by killing off the main characters, that guy from earlier rips the door open and rescues them. No way. No. Anna was standing directly in front of a massive window that just got smashed by a tsunami. She's dead, or at minimum, so massively concussed, disoriented, and stripped of every molecule of oxygen by a tidal wave that she's effectively dead. That water would be very dark and murky inside the building, with very little light coming through an already cloudy, overcast day. There's no way that she finds Jane, who just so happened to be floating perfectly in front of an exterior window where his distinct body is silhouetted. Even if she somehow had the oxygen and awareness to find Jane, her only move would have been to escape out the broken window and swim to the surface. I don't know the layout of the building, so maybe I'm mistaken, but it appears to be an open courtyard window with a top. If so, the window is the best move. It's already broken out. The door is a problem because it's an outward swinging door. With the water pressure, pushing it open without leverage is going to be very difficult. From the rescuer's side, yeah, he could brace a foot against the wall and yank it while pushing with his legs. From her side, she's kind of screwed with nothing to push off of. No way does that guy magically find the exact room and door that she's behind to save her. No way does anyone have enough oxygen to make it to the surface alive. Whatever. After surfacing, the man tells Anna to lay Jane on the floor so he can commence CPR. After a couple of chest compressions, Jane coughs up a dribble of water and begins crying. The rescuer didn't do too bad. Looks like he checked the kid for a pulse. However, he should have started with several good rescue breaths first.
You! Come here! Breathe into his mouth!
Then chest compressions. This is because Jane's heart most likely stopped due to asphyxia and hypoxia. He needs oxygen first. I will say though, Jane resuscitating during CPR is actually fairly common. The man explains who he is. He's Sun Hee Jo of Personnel Security Team 1. Turns out, Anna here is a big shot AI researcher that the company can't afford to lose, so they sent this guy and a company chopper out to rescue her. He debriefs her on the situation. An asteroid hit Antarctica around 3 hours ago, melting the ice and driving seawater north. Half of Japan's already submerged, and this entire 30-floor apartment will be underwater soon. They knew it was coming. There was nothing that they could do to stop it, supposedly, and humanity is thus doomed. That sucks. And not to be rude, but it really begs the question, why is Anna being saved? He tells her that all these years she thought that she was working on an AI lab. In reality, it's up to her to create an entirely new mankind. What? Hee-Jo continues. There's only 2 researchers who developed the AI emotion engine. Their first choice went missing this morning, for obvious reasons. So they went with their second pick, Anna. Once the chopper gets her to the shelter, they'll give her further instructions. Wait, you knew this would happen? Anna and her boss, Yan Mo, are supposedly critical to creating a new mankind, and you waited until after the asteroid hit to pick them up? That was stupid. I love the passive indignation toward Anna for being the second pick. Is it really necessary to denigrate your now star player here? For redundancy, efficacy, and a long list of obvious reasons, the company should have picked up both of them before the asteroid hit. As Anna points out, she and her colleague worked together on this. They're a team, and both are integral to developing the AI emotion engine. She admits that she doesn't actually know all that much about it on her own, and without Yan Mo, she's lost. Anna here is literally telling her rescuer to hold up in the stairwell so that she can explain how she's useless and not worth saving. This is the person who's supposed to create a new mankind? Obviously, not a smart thing to say. Even Sun Hee Jo tells her to shut her mouth. If anything, she should be renegotiating her salary and benefits. I want a private suite in the best part of the shelter. I want an assistant to feed me grapes and give back massages on request. And on Fridays, I want a pizza party. Jesus, this stairwell is long. Long enough for him to also tell her that all the other teams have completed their research already. They've built human-like bodies with intelligence and the ability to reproduce. The only missing piece is the emotion engine. Oh, good for them. Are they chilling in the shelter right now, eating crumb cakes with their feet kicked up on my desk? Maybe if you had told me and my boss about the impending asteroid and promised to keep us safe if we finished the emotion engine, then flown me out of my commie block ghetto apartment, we'd be done by now too. An asteroid large enough to wipe out humanity would almost certainly be detected years, decades, even centuries in advance. Seriously, I'm your best shot at creating a new mankind, and you've just been letting me wallow with the other serfs in this concrete anthill? This is bullshit. Knowing an asteroid is already hit, humanity is doomed, they're in mortal danger of more tsunamis. The sea is about to rise over the roof and swallow the entire building, and the chopper with extremely limited fuel is hovering nearby with other survivors, likely lining up to fight for a seat on it. Anna decides to take little Jane to go poo-poo in the bathroom, because that's a pressing issue. Not even joking. Insufferably stupid. Almost as insufferable as having a full-blown philosophical discussion about the morality of human emotion while changing clothes in quarter-speed slow motion. Oh, great. Now the building's exploding. Sure glad Jane got the poo-poo. If he'd held it, you could have taken the stairs. Now you have to throw your kid up over the balcony edge to Jason Bourne. Honestly, you're already cold and soaking wet. You'd be better off just hopping through the fire to reach the stairwell. Asking Anna to dino Jane up the side of a building was never gonna work. Amazing. Again, this is why you pull your weak book nerd AI researcher and their 6-year-old child out before hits the fan. Expecting 3-pound dumbbells here to parkour and fight her way through an apocalypse survival scenario is certainly a bold strategy. Now Anna is 3 floors behind the curve. She's getting distracted by pointless side quests, like trying to save random people who were never going to survive anyway. To make matters worse, looters are roaming around openly saying things like, you could kill someone and nobody would find out. Anna survives this and reunites with her son, who's having a medical emergency. Hey, Joe asks, you got his medicine, right? Give it to him. No! She lost it after getting hit by a tsunami. Hate to break it to you, but if they don't have that medicine at the shelter, your kid's gonna die anyway. You might as well rush there while you still can. Please don't tell me you're gonna scour the building for a bag that you lost at the beginning. Yep, Anna raids a couple's pantry for orange juice and sugar to spoon feed it to Jane to get his blood sugar up. It's a tense few moments. Her son is on the brink of death for the 2nd time, not counting the poo emergency. Oh my god, he's alive.
She's yummy.
Riveting. I feel like I've developed a deep emotional connection to Jane throughout this journey. I'm on the edge of my seat, anxiously waiting to see where his character arc goes next. So far he's pooed, and now he's peed. Who will Jane be by the end of this movie? During their little tea party chat, another wave is building in the distance. These people have the object permanence of a goldfish. The moment they can't see an immediate threat, all urgency just evaporates. When they finally reach the roof, it's revealed that Jane was never biologically born. He's not Anna's real son. He's an artificial child created using Anna's AI emotion engine, built so she could closely refine it for the company. As such, Jane is the company's property, and they can do whatever they want with their property, which is to extract his data into a digital storage device, aka remove his brain with a circular saw and put it in a box next to her on the helicopter. If I were Anna, I would have argued that my work with Jane wasn't finished yet. After all, he only knows 2 words, pee and poo. The company decides that'll have to do. Apparently none of them, not Hijo, not the SWAT team, not the company bigwigs, are fated to live. because there is no shelter. There's just a rocket on the launch pad with 2 seats, one for Anna and one for Jane's brain box. What a reckless, sloppy way to run this mission. For starters, if your entire plan hinged on Anna not going to a fallout shelter, but instead being loaded into a rocket, you should have briefed and retrieved her and Jane a long time ago. I'd assume she might need some basic astronaut training. You're not calling her an Uber. You're strapping her into a Falcon 9 headed for an orbital arc station to jumpstart humanity with the artificial 100. Second, how is there no way to retrieve Jane's data without decapitating him? Seriously, could they not have added a USB port at the base of his skull? This was inevitably going to be emotionally devastating for Anna, the kind of thing that would send her into a deep, dark depression and compromise her research, which is exactly why the company should have conceived a twin of Jane. Hijo literally mentioned earlier that they had the technology to recreate him from his data. The Ark can produce more artificial beings like Jane. So, load mom and son into the rocket, send them to the Ark. Tell Anna that you're taking Jane for ice cream and a merry-go-round ride. Brainbox him to extract the data, then upload that into a cloned body. Done. Bing, bang, boom. Anna never knows, and the research stays intact. The timing is tight, with thousands of feet of ocean bearing down on the launch pads as the engines ignite. Before Anna even reaches the orbital station, the company man gives her the mission brief. They have the technology to create human bodies and minds, and with Jane's data, they can now create children. What they're missing is the ability to emotionally connect an artificial female to an artificial child. They're missing the ability to create a mother. Well, for starters, you don't decapitate someone's child in front of them. But seriously, this is putting the cart before the horse, don't you think? As they already stated, the bodies they create can grow and reproduce on their own. The obvious solution is Anna finishes the emotion engine. They create an artificial female like they've already proven that they can. And then, hell, all of this is unnecessary anyway. You already have Anna, and you're a man. It's not that complicated. Anna's plan is to set the AI mother as the subject of the experiment and make the child disappear. The subject will face countless obstacles in search of the child. If she fails, she has to start over from the beginning. But if she succeeds and reunites with him,
아이를 못 찾으면요. 그럼 인류는 완전히 멸종할 겁니다.
what's with the negative waves? Who even are you? I'm the lead researcher on humanity's last ace. Go get me an onion bagel with cream cheese while I do the grown-up work. Guess it doesn't matter anyway because their shuttle gets zipped by an asteroid fragment. Son of a... Anna's the emotion engine mother subject, and the flood was the obstacle course. After being fatally impaled by debris, she asks her fellow astronaut to upload her mind into the computer. In the next simulation, Jane goes swimming in the flood, and Anna gets hit by a car trying to rescue him. Reset. Another sim. She gets blown up by a gas leak. Reset. This goes on for thousands of scenarios where they die horrific deaths, explicitly designed to spark her motherhood emotion engine through repeated separation from her child. Eventually, somewhere around the 20,000th simulation testing her connection and motivation to save Jane, Anna and Hijo become self-aware due to the memory echoes bleeding into each subsequent run. They realize the only way to stop reliving the nightmare is to outgun the entire Special Forces team while simultaneously surviving an extinction-level apocalypse and ultimately saving Jane from being brainboxed by sacrificing herself instead. Easy. Her methodology works, and the project is finally a success after about 1,000,000 tries. Though in real-world time, this probably took about a minute of processing. The Ark's researchers transmit their memory and emotion-loaded minds into the Isabella AI lab, where the system eats their data and reconstructs both Anna and Jane. The movie ends with artificial humans being sent back down to repopulate the Earth after the dust finally settles. Hard to say what the timeline looks like for Earth becoming habitable again. Could take decades, could take centuries. From that perspective, it may have been too challenging to build an orbital human ark capable of sustaining living beings in space for that time frame. In that case, launching a human 3D printer into orbit, scheduled for 100 years later, does make more sense in some ways, assuming you already have the technology to create one-to-one humans. That said, the movie takes some big liberties here. The methodology, research, science testing, and refinement required for a successful emotion engine would demand vastly more work and data than what's portrayed. There is no shot this Hail Mary from a single survivor would ever work. This wasn't a Chicxulub event that would turn Earth into a molten hellscape. It was just bad flooding. Severe flooding, sure, but still survivable. It might be Waterworld for a while, but if they can create a human printing machine with advanced AI algorithms, they can build underwater Gungan bubble cities, floating cities, or tall sealed spire cities that rise above the new sea level. Something, not telling anyone about a clearly survivable impact, and instead letting most of the world's population die without even attempting large-scale solutions that could save far more people, is absurdly cruel and inhuman. Resetting the human race to a tiny colony of 100 people is not it. That group would be extremely vulnerable. Unless the orbital human 3D printer can re-enter Earth's atmosphere, land safely, and be supplied well enough to start pumping people out, the plan collapses. Even then, the raw materials and technical sophistication required to operate and maintain these machines would be nearly impossible without a global supply chain of mines, factories, trucks, machines, and skilled labor. And God forbid this asteroid was the first of many coming out of the same asteroid field. 100 people would not have the combined manpower, intelligence, or economic engine needed to develop any real solution. Ultimately, everyone basically died. What they should have done was sent Harry Stamper up with a drill and a nuke. Moral of the story, don't procrastinate. Thanks to Fume for sponsoring this video.